The Xbox Series S details have been revealed. We don't know what's going on with PlayStation, and what in the heck is this Prince of Persia remake? All this and more on WumpaTime. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of WumpaTime. My name is Canadian Guy, and I am joined by my amazing co-host, Shemp.
I'm so awesome. Hi everyone.
So modest, so true to yourself.
So humble. Oh my gosh.
So humble. So we're gonna hop right into the quick news right away because there is a lot. A lot has happened this week.
Yeah, just like in the span of like 2 days, I think.
Yeah, 2-3 days. It's just been absolutely hectic and crazy. But we're gonna start off right away with a bit of a negative news, and that's something that puts a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. 505. The studio that is responsible for creating and developing Control, which was a sci-fi not first-person shooter, but a sci-fi shooter, really cool game. I did very much enjoy it. There's been some controversy going on around the whole thing.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So basically, you know how we were talking last week. Actually, we've been talking about this for the past 3 weeks now. Every single time we talk about it, a new issue or a new problem seems to be spurting up with it. And the problem is between the next gen and the previous gen. And the thing is that they're releasing free upgrades. At least some companies are. Some companies are charging $10 upgrades, and some are saying you can't upgrade at all. So it's been a bit of a confusing mess. Now 505 had released their next gen with the DLC special edition collectors stuff for Control again, because if you haven't known, Control's had a bunch of DLC coming out. Now, I get foggy with these details, so you're going to have to try to clarify for me, Shemp.
Okay.
What version does what, and what were they originally saying?
So what they were saying is when they announced the Ultimate Edition before it came out,
right?
Like, if you own the game with the season pass, it's the same version of the game, which is the Ultimate Edition. So you like, if you own the regular game without the season pass, you couldn't upgrade to the Ultimate Edition. If you owned the game on PS4 or Xbox One, you couldn't upgrade to Series X or PS5 because those versions would be the Ultimate versions when they come out.
Right.
Now, essentially what happened is randomly when the Ultimate Edition came out on PC, everyone just kind of got upgraded from base game to Ultimate, which they deemed impossible. And then everyone was like, okay, I guess we have it now. And then 505 was like, oopsies, and then they took it back. And then everyone got brought back down to the base version. So not only did they lie about them not being able to do it, they also gave it to you and took it back.
Yeah, I'm not understanding this. This is something that I don't get. So, like, usually within even retail or whatnot, like, if essentially what they did was that they said something was impossible, and but then some quote unquote glitch happened, and everybody got the upgraded version of it, and then they took it back. Imagine walking into a store, seeing that a brand new game that just came out that's normally for $60 be $20. You pick it up for $20, and then when you revisit that store, they charge you an additional $40 for the other part of the price that they missed. It's something similar.
You can't come in until you pay the rest of it.
Exactly. Even though you can't do that. If you mess up and you redistribute the game out to everybody else by quote unquote accident, you kind of have to eat it. You have to bite it. You have to be like, okay, technical glitch. We have to adjust and figure it out from there. But not just did they take it back, but the fact that they are biting themselves or kicking themselves in the pants by saying that it was impossible.
Yeah, it's just like it's like at the PS5. It's like if Sony was like, "Hey, the PS5 is gonna be backwards compatible with all PS4 games." Okay, cool. The console comes out, you put a disc in, it doesn't work. Like, "Hey, Sony, what's going on?" They're like, "Oh, we meant like only these PS4 games. My bad."
Yeah, those ones don't exist anymore.
Yeah, and then they just the next day they take away all backwards compatibility, and it's like, "Nah, we always said it was a PS5 machine. My bad."
It's not good. So. And which is unfortunate because Control is a really good game.
I heard it's really like, okay, I haven't played it. I really want to. Is it based off of SCP? Is that right?
Say it again.
everyone's been telling me it's based off of SCP, which I really am interested in.
What's SCP? I don't know what the acronym for that is.
Oh, really? It's like, have you not seen the fan games like SCP Containment Breach?
No.
Where SCP essentially is kind of off a tangent. SCP essentially is like this fictional government embodiment where people can make up their own stories about their own like monsters and beings and stuff, and they describe what it is in a government format. And the whole not Wikipedia, but the whole page is just full of these really creative monsters and their own quirks and what they can do to you. It's like, oh, subject, the most popular one, I forget what number it is, but it's like, oh, subject attacks you when you don't look, or when you blink, it gets closer to you. But then there's like dumb ones where it's like, oh, this monster is a toaster, and if you toast bread, he'll come out and kill you. Yeah, it's stuff like that.
So basically the core concept, because I don't want to give too much away, but the core concept is that it's like a cross between Stranger Things and The Matrix. It's very creepy. It's not horror, it's creepy. It's basically the idea of that the government, there's a secret section of the government that's been containing supernatural creatures from alternate dimensions and different places in the universe that are beyond our comprehension and understanding. And basically there's a breach within the government building, but is contained within the government building, and you play as a girl who was an experiment originally in the government building. To return, she goes to look for evidence for, I believe, her brother, or I can't remember. She comes back to look for evidence for somebody during this breach happening, and then she's kind of like wound up and involved in this whole thing. And it's like psychedelic, it's creepy, it's weird, it's paranormal.
Yes, that's what I want. I love that.
It's very, very, very... there's a movie I think about, and I can't even remember the title of the film. It's more of like a style where it is very, very odd. For example, let's say, imagine you have to get to the end of the level. I'm just going to describe a situation. You're in a hotel that's half destroyed, floating in space. You have to get to the end of the level before the hotel falls apart, to grab the phone, to pick it up, to answer, to mentally transport back to the building. Stuff like that. Like, it's really, really weird and creepy, but it's very, very cool. It hangs on like the Death Stranding kind of style of weird, but it doesn't... There is some explanation to it.
You're actually doing gameplay.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I haven't finished it yet, but I do my buddy Tyler, who is now my neighbor, it's one of his favorite games now, and he thoroughly recommends it. But we're going to move on to the next piece of quick news, which is kind of relating to the Ubisoft event we'll be talking more about later. Scott Pilgrim is back.
Yeah, and a funny twist of fate, it's still digital only.
Yeah.
So the problem with Scott Pilgrim back in the day is the same problem that we're facing today. So if you didn't know, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is an amazing beat-em-up game that was unfortunately delisted all those years ago. It was like 10 years ago on the PS3 and Xbox 360. Right. There was never a physical release, and for the longest time, the only way to get the game after it was delisted was buying a code from Best Buy's website, and people didn't even know about that. I don't even think Best Buy knew about it, and then they took it off. But it was an amazing beat-em-up with fantastic music, a great art style. It was very charming. It stood out from the crowd, and it's back again, and it's called the Complete Edition, and the only difference is that it comes with two... like just DLC, like a 2 expansion. I think it's just some extra story DLC.
Right.
And it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC via Uplay, unfortunately. Yeah. Uplay Plus, Switch and Stadia, which is Stadia still a thing? Can I just mention when Destroy All Humans came out, like what, 2-3 months ago, it specified there was a Stadia release, and it's still not there. I don't know what's going on.
Honestly, we haven't heard almost anything until the Ubisoft event about Stadia. I honestly forgot. I hadn't even thought about the word Stadia in a long time.
I know.
Until I saw
that.
until I saw the Ubisoft event. I was like, wait, oh yeah. And I was like, get that off my screen. But no. Ew. But we'll get more into that later on because we got a lot that's going to be breaching into our main news. But back to about Scott Pilgrim. Again, this is a problem that we are seeing with these games in terms of game preservation. And that the fact that they didn't even do like a limited release or a limited run. Even if they did a limited run of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where they're like, okay, you can buy it for the first 4 months and then it goes digital only. At least the people that really want it to make sure to play forever, they can have access to it now, right?
Yeah, and I'm really hoping limited run does something. Because they usually do.
Yeah, limited run is good for that. They definitely they've been helping keep games preserved for a long time. They've been able to, like the fact that they put the Jack and Daxter on a physical disc. That's really cool. And the fact that Scott Pilgrim is not. I mean, Scott Pilgrim has a really big cult following. There's a lot of people that love the comics, a lot of people that love the movies, the games. I mean, if you think about it, Scott Pilgrim is one of the few franchises, though it's small, to get a movie, a book, and a game. Like,
yeah, and the soundtrack for the game is also like one of the most in high demand gaming soundtracks I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a unique franchise because very few franchises can go the route that it did, because it started off as a book, then it went to a movie and game, and it's very hard to go, especially to, like, I can only think of a few titles that start off as literature that move into a video game. Like The Witcher is one of them, right?
Yeah, The Witcher. Yeah, that's a good one. Because usually it's just literature to movie. It's not literature to game.
Yeah, if it goes to a movie, it's usually much easier to make a game off of it.
Yeah, because you're adapting something that's already visual into interactive visualization.
Yeah, exactly. So, but to see something like Scott Pilgrim, which I will admit is a smaller fan base in comparison to like Lord of the Rings or whatever, these other massive literature to film titles, and also relating to video games as well, it's still very shocking to see that Scott Pilgrim got basically all the ways of media possible, and including, the amazing soundtrack. And the fact that Ubisoft is not releasing it as a complete edition, or the physical edition, is very, very frustrating.
Yeah, especially with game, like, this would be the perfect physical Switch game. Absolutely. Like, because it's just a beat 'em up. The Switch is perfect for local beat 'em ups, and this is 4-player local couch co-op play. Of course, let it like it. I understand why limited run doesn't do, like, I don't think they even do Xbox One copies, because it's on a disc, but you still need the internet to like download it to the hard drive and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I understand that, but Switch cartridge, PS4 disc, hell, dude, put it on the Vita. I don't care. I'll buy it. I'll buy the Vita version.
Just some physical form, right?
Please. And the fact that Ubisoft isn't doing this, I can't even say like, oh, it's to save money. They already had the game made. They didn't really invest anything else into just, hey, here's a couple $100, do the expansion, and then we'll mass produce the physical copies. No, they just want to keep it in demand.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the same issue, which we're not going to get back into, about Mario, where again, it's like, oh yeah, these games are better. It doesn't matter. The product has already been made. The product has already been paid for. The product has already had its run. You're just porting it, right? The 3 Mario games, again, which I'm not going to get into because I'm just going to have an aneurysm. But the fact is that they are not being consumer friendly once again, and not releasing a physical form. I understand a lot of people are going straight digital, and that's fine. But the fact is that there are people that still want high demand there's still high demand for physical stuff. Now we're going to move on to our next piece, because there's something that you have written down for this, and I also have something that I haven't written down for this. So I'm going to start with mine, and then you're going to say your part, because I'm not sure. So Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, a game that's coming out for the PlayStation 5 and PC. So it was probably one of the best games that we saw at the PlayStation event when this was showed off, I would think.
Yeah, because it was it's straight up just a movie.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It sounds fantastic. It looks amazing. So, like I said, you have details that I don't know, and I might have a detail that you don't know. I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but
yeah.
Kenna Bridge of Spirits has been delayed.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
oh, no.
so it's not too bad of a delay. They are aiming at Q1 2021.
Okay.
So the first quarter of next year. So
it's still pretty soon.
Still fairly soon. So probably within the next, if the game was going, so it's probably approximately like a 3 to 4 month delay. And they have a statement on it right here. And then we'll switch over to what you have, because yours is more entertaining, because it seems like. So here's the statement from Ember Labs, the developers for Kenna Bridge of Spirits. The Ember Lab team is overwhelmed and humbled by the positive response and outpouring of support for Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Your kind words and excitement for this game have been an inspiration to the team. This year has brought many challenges, and our transition to working from home has caused development to move slower than we hoped. For this reason, we have made the difficult decision to delay the release of Kenna Bridge of Spirits to Q1 2021. We have not made this decision lightly, but feel it is best for the game and well-being of the team. We'll use this time to give the game the polish it deserves and deliver an experience that meets our vision and our expectations. We look forward to sharing more about Kenna in the coming months and delivering an amazing experience early next year. The Ember Lab team. So, so as what everybody has expected, everything is being delayed and pushed back due to the outgoing pandemic and working from home, which is completely and totally understandable. It's been extremely difficult. But what's also happening too, to bounce off of this a little bit, is that companies that were running their games on spaghetti code and companies that were running their games off of just like whatever, just get it to work internally. Now what's happening is that now that everyone's running and working from home, if your coding is not right, it's going to cause way more problems, because you can't have tech support hop on and fix what's going on right away because you're at home, right?
Is it bad that whenever you said spaghetti code, I immediately thought of Yandere Simulator?
Yeah, there you go. That's one. But I was, there's another one that I've been hearing a lot of stories about, which was like Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite.
Oh God! Oh yeah.
Halo Infinite apparently has been having awful spaghetti code internally, and that's what's been struggling with them. Now, what is the PS5 details that features on Kenna? Because I don't know what this is, so I'm excited.
So, I guess so. When did they announce the delay? Was it like today?
Yes.
Okay, so this was before they announced delay. So, the devs of Kenna specified a little more on what the PS5 will take advantage, or what the game will take advantage of in terms of using the PS5's power.
Right.
And one of the big things that I notice is so far this game, it looks beautiful, amazing, graphics fantastic.
Yes.
It looks like it would give a PS4 just the jet engine fan treatment. So one of the first details that really put it into perspective for me is that the game will take 2 seconds to launch from the PS5 OS fresh launch.
What?
Like without the game even being suspended, you turn on the PS5, you hit Kenna, boom, loaded right away. Nothing.
That's so hard for me to grasp and understand.
I cannot fathom that fast.
Like 2 seconds. Like that is
2 seconds for a console game.
Now here's the thing too, though, and this is something that I feel like a lot of people who are straight PC don't understand. Well, they maybe understand, but they ignore it. And I feel like that this is something that's really, really important when it comes to consoles. Is that when they build a game for the consoles, or when they build computer part, or the parts that are within the console, there are almost no bottlenecks at all. It's all been designed to make sure that everything runs as smooth as possible. Meanwhile, with computer parts, you might buy a motherboard from one company, and then RAM from a different company, and then a graphics card from another company. And they're all built just a little bit different, but they're not optimized for each other, right? And the thing is about consoles is that you can get a bit more, if you were to build the exact same build of a console in terms of quote unquote individual stats, the console will be likely faster, because the console has been tuned specifically for gaming and specifically for all the parts that are put together to work together perfectly. right? So
Yeah.
Can you build a computer like that? Yeah, but it's hard. But if you were to just build a computer like you normally would, which is just parts from different companies put together, and if it had the same stats as the PlayStation will probably be able to optimize it a little bit more. So
yeah, I think this is the first like future-proof console.
Right. Because the thing is, even I have an SSD NVMe drive, and games don't open in 2 seconds. They open quick, 5 or 6 seconds, but not 2.
But not 2.
2 is... That is ridiculous. We're getting close to instantaneous, where it's like very little, if not no loading at all. Can you imagine loading screens of being the past?
Oh my, that's what I was thinking of. Cause like, I remember when, like from the PS3 to the PS4, one of the big things that it was like, it was mainly graphics. That's what people were talking about.
Yeah.
It was like, pixelated shadows, think of the past. Super high quality, super dynamic. You look at a shadow, you see the outline. Cause I remember the thing that bugged me the most is when I played Uncharted, like on my PS3 back then, I'd look at the ground and I'd see just like 4 pixels. And it's like, oh, that's my shadow.
Yeah, that's
cool,
it.
I guess. So a little more info with how powerful the PS5 is they specify there's going to be more lush and dense environments, and this is a game set in like a jungle type forest setting. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see that. And let's see, there are over 100 rots, which are just tiny creatures in the game, and the PS5 can display them all, allegedly with no hiccups, no bottlenecks, no nothing.
That is, I can't wait for next gen, dude.
Right?
And
it utilizes the DualSense with weapons like the bow, where I'm sure Horizon does the same thing, where you aim, you hold it, and then as she pulls back, it gets harder to hold. And one of the big things is that the game will not cost $60.
What?
It is not a $60 game. It's looking to be a $40 game.
No way.
They specify that the game can be finished in over a weekend. There is a harder difficulty setting. Photo mode will be added later. You can customize the rots with little hats, and they can't die. They'll always be with you.
Oh, okay. This game, I'm getting very almost in terms of like development similarities in terms of relationship with PlayStation. I'm getting very much between Moon Studios, with who made Ori and the Blind Forest. Very much where it's like an indie game, but it's backed by a AAA. So it is, but it isn't. That is really nice to hear, though, because I do like games that are like shorter in experience. Sometimes you just want to play a game over a weekend and that's it. You don't want to sit down and play for 180 hours. But sometimes you do want to sit down and play for 180 hours, right?
And this games like these really put in, like, Sony has been the only company between them and Microsoft that's actually showing next generation games and what it's going to be like. Because Xbox tried, with Halo, they tried, bless their heart, and they haven't really showcased anything that's like, wow, this is the next gen, besides Forza, which is a racing game, and it's like, cool, Reflections. But Sony's like, here's all the games next generation, here's what they're going to look like, here's how fast they're going to load, here's how they're going to control, here's how it's going to look in performance mode. By the way, Spider-Man 4K 60 performance, I still cannot get over that. My brain cannot fathom 4K 60 as, this is getting kind of hard to run, so let's bump it down to 4K 60 and it will save up some memory.
I mean, too bad though they're not showing next gen prices, if you know what I mean.
Sony.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We got some beef with PlayStation. We've been having beef with all three major publishers and studios for the past
that's fine.
few weeks.
That proves that we're not biased. All right, everyone sucks.
So everybody, you all suck. No, every single console and every single business has a problem, and there needs to be fixes to that. But we'll get to that because that's all in the main news. Our final piece of quick news is something that has had Twitter literally explode, the fan base explode, everybody explode.
I was not expecting.
No. Crash Bandicoot 4, you know the game, you've heard of it, right?
I think you
think
know
so?
it's
Yeah.
that little indie game, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The one with the little the wombat, right? Willy the Wombat.
Yeah, the little Sonic clone. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
there you go. The Sonic butt game. Anyway, Tana, the bombshell from the very first game that was literally had almost no personality in the first game, has been brought back in an alternate universe in Crash Bandicoot 4 as a full-fledged playable character, and it was a shock to see. Like we kind of expected it because we saw leaks, but it was still shocking to see.
And
go ahead.
I'm still like, I wasn't expecting Twitter to just explode the way that it did about Tana.
Oh yeah, I mean, what they did was that they which was really interesting because the way they described this new Tana is that she's from an alternate dimension where she had to be the hero instead of Crash. And what happened to Crash and Coco, it's implied that something bad happened.
Yeah, didn't they say, like, did we die? And she was like, no, you didn't die.
Well, what happens is that Coco's like, we've been, basically, she's like, wow, it's been a long time since I've seen you guys. And Coco's like, yeah, we lost touch with you in our dimension too. She's like, what happened? She's like, we lost touch. And Coco's like, what? Did we like die or something? She's like, what? No. So how's things in your... But then she starts tearing up. She starts tearing up and like wiping the tears away. She's like, so how's everything in your dimension?
So how are you doing? You're fine.
So, and Coco's like, okay. So that was
okay.
So that was really funny. But I really like this new take on Tana. I like it. It's different from the bombshell, Tana from before, but she's still like attractive, but they did it in a different way. They made her more attractive in a different sense. And it's still Tana, and I really like that. And I like that now she has a personality when before she didn't really have so much of a personality. But to bounce off of this news a little bit, of not just Tana, we also found out it's been a big week for Crash. I mean, we were hit with like 3 different things. Debbie Derryberry, the voice actress of Coco, who's been the voice actress of Coco since
2008, I think, or 7. 2000. Since Crash. No. I'm sorry. Twinsanity.
Crash the. Yeah, Twinsanity. Yeah,
Twinsanity.
Coco was based almost like non-existent in Twinsanity, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was almost non-existent in Twinsanity, but yeah, she was, if I remember correctly, yeah, she did do Twinsanity, and then she was definitely featured in Mind Over Mutant and Crash the Titans. So, she's been there for a while, and we were confused because she originally said she was in the game, and we thought she just took a different voice direction because we didn't hear the Jimmy Neutron-like voice. And then we found out that she is not in Crash Bandicoot 4, but she is in the Crash Bandicoot mobile game.
Which makes sense because like that happens. That's happened a lot before, where you have one character and there's 2 projects and one actress can't do both. So like one of the one that immediately comes to mind is when Lilo and Stitch 2 came out. The series was coming out at the same time, so the main actress for Lilo did the series while her sister did the movie. And they sound similar, but it's like, oh, we gotta make a compromise, and they're doing the same thing here. We have this new actress for Coco for the game, but we also have the mobile game coming out, but we can't have both, so we'll have Debbie go over there and the new actress in the main game. I mean, both are gonna get like a bunch of exposure, especially the mobile game.
But the question becomes, who is the voice actress for the new Coco? Because we don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah, they haven't come out. I don't know if they're like allowed to, or if they are and they're just not saying anything.
I don't know. I want to know who it is that's voicing Coco, and it's very, very interesting. I'm very interested to see who it is because I think I've heard her voice before because I was listening to it, and I was like, I know this voice actress. I know this voice actress.
Yeah, I know that voice.
I know it. And I've heard it. And I know it. Like, and I've heard it in an animated film. I know that. And my head goes, and I'm probably wrong. Before we go on to the main news, I do want to say, I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now, but she does sound a little bit like Anna from Frozen. A little bit. I get the Anna vibes a little bit when I hear her. I don't think it might not be her. There's another voice actress that comes to mind, but it's in that realm of...
Yeah.
It's in that realm, and I can't pin it. I don't know who it is, but I've heard of it before. I've heard it in an animated feature before, and I don't know who it is, and it's frustrating because I've heard of her before. And when it comes to voice actors, that is, man, it is such an annoying thing to try to find who is voicing who, and I just I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's frustrating. So, but let's move on to the main news. We got we got 3 pieces, but 2 of them are very similar, which is just kind of a bundled deal when it comes to both PlayStation and Microsoft. But
boy, what a good 2-in-1.
Man, we're talking more about consoles. It's like as if we're on next gen or something. It's like we're so close to it. So we're gonna go to before we get to the next gen, we're gonna be talking about Ubisoft. Okay, all right. So Ubisoft. Oh boy. So over the past weekend, Ubisoft released Ubi Forward. Now, if Ubi Forward is their direct, their showing, their showcase, and I thought the last Ubi Forward was pretty awful. The last Ubi Forward, I wanted to... The only good part was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I think one other thing.
Yeah.
But now, this Ubi Forward found a way to stoop lower. Now... What did they show off? Well, they're basically showing off...
Yeah, I'm about to say, you covered this because I didn't watch the thing. So you tell me what they showed.
Okay, so, man, I'm going to steal the words of Jordan Fringe because Jordan made a tweet about this and my thoughts were literally identical. I can't wait for Watch Dogs Legion to come out so they can stop talking about it.
Oh, that is so true. That is a great statement.
It's just
my lord.
We've been talking about Watch Dogs Legion since like what, 2018?
Yeah, and it's gonna come out maybe.
Well, it's coming out in October. Thank goodness. But dude, it's the same thing. Hey, London's under siege by the government. What are you gonna do? You need to recruit different people. Oh, look at this person. It's a grandma with a taser. Oh,
I just want grandma gameplay.
Oh, look, grandma with the taser. Hey, look at this guy over here. He's got a missile in his car. Look how cool this is. And this person's is a hacker. And apparently they can make your brain explode by hacking it. And I'm like, can we just... It's the same thing over and over again. So yeah, Watch Dogs Legion.
Please come out. Please just come out, dude.
A bunch of words for Rainbow Six Siege were said, and nothing was said, which I'm amazed.
Bunch of words.
But they keep talking about Rainbow Six Siege like, yeah, it's doing so good. God, we have a community that's amazing. Every single Ubi Forward. And they're like, we have community events coming, and that's it. It's like, that's literally it. There's no
I don't care.
Yeah. They started the pre-show with about half an hour of Brawlhalla. That was fun.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Neat.
Yeah, woo! Then they announced Scott Pilgrim, which was the highlight for a bunch of people, which I'm very happy for them. Nothing about Assassin's Creed, shockingly. Even though that's like their big AAA studio. They announced a Far Cry VR game.
Okay, I guess.
But
it's cool.
But it's not for PlayStation. It's for it's coming out for the way that they did it. It makes no sense. It's not coming for the Oculus. It's not coming to PlayStation. Let me look it up. The Far Cry VR. It's called Far Cry VR. Dive into Insanity.
Stadia.
So basically,
Stadia VR.
But basically, what it is that it's you get thrown back to Far Cry 3, the Tropical Rook Islands, where you're reunited with that. I think his name is Voss. Now let me just quickly read here because the thing is that I don't know. Okay. So a new VR spin-off of Far Cry 3 you'll be able to play exclusively at 0 latency. What is zero latency exactly?
I am supposing that when you play a VR game,
okay,
it's just kind of.
So here it is. Here, so zero latency is a. I can't believe they're actually doing this. It is a VR location that you have to go to and play. It's a venue. It's a company. And in Canada, there's only 4 locations. You got Calgary, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. Let's look at the United States of America. Where is it in the US of A? So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 locations in all of America. You have in Dallas, Houston, Kalahari Dells, Las Vegas, Mishawaka, Orlando, Rancho Cucamonga, California, I think, Reno, and Scottsdale, Arizona. That's it.
So I'll ask again. Who cares?
Yeah. So
if this isn't a game,
it's a game, but you have to go and drive somewhere.
I don't think. When is it coming out?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, because I was thinking this is one of the worst things you could do during a pandemic is encourage people to leave their house and go somewhere. Now
to put on peripherals that other people have.
Yeah, other people have done. It's like going to a mall and then doing the whole. Oh, check it! It's the little VR section. I want to go into it, and they shake you around with some disease inside of it. But I don't think any Ubisoft fan cares enough to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go drive to Dallas real fast to play a Ubisoft game. For maybe an hour and then drive 30 hours back home.
That man. You are so right though. The fact that they're promoting, hey, go to a place during a pandemic and wear a bunch of VR peripherals.
They spit on it and then they put it on your face.
There's a little bit of stuff in there. Let me just clean it up there. Spit shine.
All right, let me just get some elbow grease in there. And,
yeah.
All right, I think we're good.
That's awful. So they announced that. Then the game that they originally announced, remember Gods and Monsters? The game that looked pretty cool. They changed it. They changed the name.
What's it called again?
Just think of your inner Chinese mobile game. It is called Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
Okay, so this is a console game, right?
Yes, this is a console game.
Okay, because I saw a trailer for it on YouTube because I was watching a video and the ad popped up, and I knew it was changed to that, but I was like, wow, this looks like Clash of Clans, but with monsters. So I don't get it.
So it looks like, here's the thing. This is my biggest gripe with it. Is that I'm sitting there and I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, man, a lot of these sequences look familiar. So the whole shtick of it is that you are helping the Greek gods, I believe, fight against evil, and you play as Phoenix and you get access to different powers, like the flight of this and and yeah, that's all great. I'm going to send you an image or 2 images. And these aren't even the worst, but tell me, doesn't this look a little bit like, I don't know, Breath of something, Breath of I don't know, Breath of the Wild?
Come on, picture. Come on, picture. You can do
the
it.
picture's not loading?
Come on, picture.
Come on, load.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
Uh-oh. No picture.
Is it not working? No. Okay, well, here, I'll save this one and send it instead of copying and pasting, because this one is...
Oh, there we go. I see it now. Wow, that sure is a design I've seen before.
Here, but this is the worst one. This is It looks
that is literally Breath of the Wild. That is the opening shot of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But you have Kratos wings.
Yeah, but also look, you could even see the mountain where Calamity Ganon would be.
Yeah,
with the spikes around it.
That is some Calamity Ganon aura. I love that you can also see the same exact volcano area. It's all the same layout. You know, okay. Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Why is it that when Ubisoft does this, Ubisoft fans are like, "Oh, this looks cool. I love it." But when some other Chinese company did that PS4 game where it's Breath of the Wild but with hot anime babes, that dude broke his PS4.
Breath of the
Waifu. Whenever that got announced, that dude broke his PS4 at the venue. But when this is announced, it's like, oh, cool. That looks super neat.
There's a lot of special treatment given to certain studios. I'm not saying Nintendo, but
I think I'd rather play Breath of the Waifu. Honestly, if I'm being
actually
honest.
my buddy played Breath of the Waifu when we were at PAX, and it was pretty cool. It is.
I bet.
It was actually different. Here's another screenshot here that is
wow.
Yeah, swapped it out for Link, and you couldn't tell the difference. There is one shot though. There is one shot, and I want to find it because I literally verbally like gagged and screamed on the stream when I saw the trailer. When you get a chance after WumpaTime, you guys go watch it. There's literally a scene of Phoenix scaling the side of the mountain, exactly the same that Link did, in the exact same kind of shot of just like the way he's scaling it, just climbing it. It's just the way it is. The combination of it all, it's so much like Breath of the Wild.
I really didn't expect this from a AAA company like that. That's really sad.
So there was that. Then they announced a. Do you remember Steep? Probably not.
I see it on the shelf at work a lot for $5.
Yeah,
for like the PS3, right?
So PS4, I think. I don't know. I don't
remember.
Man, so Steep was a game that was released by Ubisoft. That it was a snowboarding game, and it was met with very mixed reviews, and it wasn't great. So they announced another game, which literally they took the snowboarding of Steep, implemented it, added biking from Trials, and then adding rocket jetpacks.
Okay.
And then said, okay, there's your rocket jetpacks, and now you have to like race to the end of it. It's like an MMO. It's so weird. I don't even.
What?
So it's like you play with other players in a massive online space. Imagine The Crew, but The Crew meets snowboarding meets biking. With rocket boards.
I don't know if even Ubisoft knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it confused me. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely confused me, the way it's done. Maybe it's cool, maybe it's not. But yeah, literally my buddy who played Steep said that outfits that you could get in Steep were in like the game.
Yeah.
So there was that. And the final thing that they announced for the Ubisoft event, which still makes me want to die on the inside today, the Prince of Persia remake.
Yeah, Dirt of Time, bro.
Okay. So, are we upset that Prince of Persia is getting a remake? Absolutely not. We are
now
excited.
I am, but no.
So, yes, we are happy that Prince of Persia is making some form of a comeback because Prince of Persia kind of does deserve it. I do agree. Prince of Persia is a really big title, and it's really cool that they're bringing it back. However, there's a bit of an issue here. And the issue is it looks like crap.
The issue is that it's bad.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the game gets announced, we see gameplay, we see cutscenes, it's extremely rough, like very, very early. And to be fair, Ubisoft did say, hey, this is pre-alpha, it's still in development. Okay, cool, yeah, whatever, we'll give you guys a break. And when asked about the way it looks and how garbage it looks, Ubisoft said, "Oh no, it's supposed to look like that. That's not pre-alpha. It's supposed to look like that." And everyone was like, "Oh no." And then it gets worse. Developers also said, no, an interview, like some journalist was like, "Hey, are you guys under like how is development going? Are you guys under any time constraints or budget constraints?" And they said, "Nope. It's all pretty good. We all got time. We all got plenty of money. We're doing the best we can." I don't think so.
dude, it looks so bad. Now, here's the thing. There was somebody online, and I had a very small conversation with them on Twitter. They went to defend it, and they said, "Hey, that's not really fair. This is more of an HD remaster." No, and I explained to them, no, this isn't an HD remaster. This isn't like they took the original Prince of Persia, updated the textures to 4K, and called it a day. No,
this is a remake.
A remake a la Crash and Spyro and Medieval and the Master Chief Collection, where they took the wireframe mesh of the original game, put it back in, and they retextured everything. All the scenes are re-mocapped. Everything is redone. And here's the problem. It looks like crap. And they're saying, "Oh yeah, we're showing you pre-alpha footage," or we're showing you alpha footage, and they said it's coming out on January 21st, 2021. That's 3 months.
That is 3 months. And your game cannot go from pre-alpha to alpha to beta to testing to gold in 3 months.
Yeah, no.
No. So this game is going to ship probably like not even underbaked. Like the ingredients aren't even mixed yet before you can put it in the oven.
Build it yourself.
Yeah, this is like a DIY Prince of Persia. Like we're gonna give you the dough, and then you add all the vanilla extract and everything, and then you put it in the oven.
Yeah, it is absolutely disgusting how much of a disservice is being done to Prince of Persia fans because it looks awful.
If you want,
when I sent a screenshot to you, I remember I sent a screenshot to you. You were just like, no. That's not real. It literally looks like early PlayStation 3 graphics. I am not.
Yeah, it
joking.
looks like an Unreal 3 game. Like when they first figured out how to do Unreal 3, because all the models look like plastic. And all the textures on the clothes are so low res that whenever the camera zooms in, you can see. It looks like I'm gonna send you a screenshot. It looks like Link's arm from Breath of the Wild because of how cartoony it is.
It is awful. It is so bad. Like you look at it, and the skin has no pores. The skin looks like plastic. And I'm not asking for hyper real. Like we're not asking for it to be hyper realistic, but for it to look good. And it doesn't look good. It looks like either a late PS2 game or a early PS3 title. And we are literally on the cusp of... Here's the thing. If this released early PS4, it may have been able to squeak by. Maybe.
Yeah, like that. Even that's kind of pushing it.
That's pushing it, but that's giving it all the benefits of a doubt. That's where you wish upon a star and just don't look at the graphics. And
dude, Uncharted 3 on the PS3 in 2011 looks better than this 2021 game.
Yeah, now here's the problem. Not only are we at the end of the life cycle, we're going into PlayStation 5. Have you guys seen the footage for Ratchet and Clank? Have you even comparing this to Halo Infinite? People were like, I compared it to Halo Infinite. People are like, oh, Halo Infinite isn't a great example. No, you're showing a range. Okay, Halo Infinite, where people have mixed opinions on the graphics, to Ratchet and Clank, which kind of has like a universal acclaim on the graphics. This is the bar. This is the threshold. This is the bar of quality that we're hitting next generation. And not only are you missing it, you're hitting the base. Like this is awful. The bar that has not even been close to reach with this footage. Not even a little bit. It looks like you know what it looks like? If you ever want to look back, go and see if you can find early Assassin's Creed 2 gameplay, like the prototyping for Assassin's Creed 2. This is what it looks like. It is.
Let me see. I'm actually kind of curious.
Yeah, look it up. It's like this. It untextured.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong, my guy.
Yeah, prototype Assassin's Creed 2. Now, here's the thing. If they said this is a prototype, we don't have a release date yet, this is just to get it out there so that people know it's happening. This is what we got so far. It's alpha. We'll see you guys in a year or two. Fine. That's
cool.
great.
Yeah, just show us that it's being made.
Yeah, it's saying we know this isn't great. And then 8 months from now, do another trailer. And so, here it is. Here's the updated graphics. Here's what it looks like, right? Or just show a logo.
After.
Or just show a logo.
Yeah, you could pull an Elder Scrolls 6 at this point, and we'd be like, cool.
Yeah, this is this name, but then they're like, no, it's coming out in 2021 in January, and I'm like, this is not good. This is not good, and this is showing a disservice to Prince of Persia fans because this is what's going to happen. It's going to come out. It's going to get review bombed. It's going to get...
Oh, yeah.
So first off, Ubisoft already has a group of haters that just hate Ubisoft for them even existing. And whenever they release any sort of title, it gets downvoted and review bombed into the abyss. Just for it being Ubisoft. 1.
Yeah.
2. Then this game comes out and it looks like this, Prince of Potato Head. It looks awful. It looks bad. And guess what's going to happen is that it's going to get review bombed again and people are going to dislike it. And then Ubisoft is going to look and be like, well, Prince of Persia Remake didn't do good, so I guess people don't like Prince of Persia. And then literally just take the title, bury it in the ground, and we'll never see it again. We'll see it right there beside Rayman. Because
just, they'll just pretend, that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of, no Rayman.
Rayman, still. Oh,
yeah, and the other thing that, they said at the start of the show, they said, we're going to be talking about titles that we announced and titles that we haven't talked about in a long time. What's the first thing that came to mind for me? Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, yes.
Now, here's the thing. People are saying,
God, yes.
Well, people are saying, why aren't you talking about Rayman? Because there has been no Rayman announced. They announced Beyond Good and Evil 2. They literally announced it. Yep. And now it's just kind of... Where exactly? It was announced like 2017, 2018? And we haven't heard anything. Nothing.
I thought it was like way before then.
Was it way before? I can't remember, dude. I remember
let me see.
It was pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I thought it was announced like before even PS4 and Xbox One.
No. It was announced. No, it was announced during the PS4 and Xbox One, but it was like peak PS4, PS1. I want to say
it was 2017. It looks like
2017. Okay, so it was announced 3 years ago. And we haven't heard anything.
Yep.
Not a word.
Nothing.
Not a breath, not a tinkle, nothing. And
wait, no, I lied. It was 2008.
2008. Right, but there was a cancellation in between there though. Because the first game came out.
Yeah.
I remember then it was like buried, and then they started development, buried it, and then they started again and they announced it. And that because it wasn't ever officially announced, to my knowledge, Beyond Good and Evil 2 back until 2017, to my knowledge.
Yeah, you're right. There was a leaked trailer.
Yeah. So, but they announced Beyond Good and Evil 2 at E3, and we haven't heard anything since. I think there was an interview. Like a year later talking about it.
Hey, is it happening? Sure.
That's basically what happened. So that was the Ubisoft show. I know we talked about it for a while, but again, Prince of Persia really is looking like it's going to underperform. If the fact that they came out and said, "Oh yeah, no, we chose it to look like this," and I made a tweet about it, like, "Yeah, we want to look like garbage. It's art, you fools! How dare you?
Stupid.
Seriously, it's
stupid, dumb idiot."
Oh gosh, Prince of Persia just not looking good right now. It is not. I mean, especially when you look at. Even if you take out the Crash and Spyro remakes, let's not even include that. Let's look at Medieval. Medieval did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
The Saints Row, dude. Did you see? Remember us talking about the remaster or remake?
Yes.
It looks awesome.
It looks amazing.
And they're like, yeah, it's like a remake kind of, but we wanted to put new models, new textures, new everything, just kind of make it more modern. And it looks great. And it's Saints Row, for Pete's sake. Where you do things that I can't even say on here because it's not family friendly at all, but you can beat people with certain phallic symbols. It
looks great.
It's a slapstick game. The game is slapstick, making fun of Grand Theft Auto, and it looks a billion times better than Prince of Persia will ever look like. I mean, the Prince of Persia cover art looks good, at least. One last thing about Prince of Persia.
Concept art.
Yeah, the concept art. The last thing before we move on to the next big bits, I know this might be a little bit of a longer WumpaTime. Prince of Persia comes out for $39.99 US. That is fine. And that's the one shining thing. It's if they were going to charge $59.99, I was going to vomit blood. But they are following the pattern that the other remakes and remasters are doing, which is keeping it to the $39.99 price point. And because of recent events, Nintendo, I do got to commend Ubisoft on them not going the $59.99 route, because if they did, I think that would have just really killed it. But the fact that it's $39.99, okay, and it's $49.99 Canadian, $39.99 American, fine.
Yeah, fine, whatever. If you at home want like a good comparison, there's an Uncharted clone on Steam called Unearthed, and that game looks miles better than what the Prince of Persia remake looks like.
Just go look at the trailer and look for yourself. Unless you, actually, I tried opening it on the screenshots that I got from Ubisoft on my computer, and my computer literally froze. Like it wouldn't open.
It was like nope.
No, you can't. Nope. So
please stop.
So arguably the biggest piece of news that happened over the weekend is the Xbox Series S has been finally announced, and we've been seeing the price points and release date of the Xbox Series X.
Yes, and it's quite a jump, like from low model to big boy model.
Mm-hmm.
So the Series S was announced, which we already kind of knew about because there were so many leaks. They were not good at hiding it at all.
No, it was awful.
On the back of like someone ordered a controller for the Xbox One, and it's like, yeah, compatible with the Series X and Series S, and they were like, the what?
What?
Okay. So
the thing that hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah, that one. So basically what's going on is so the Xbox Series S was announced, and then they announced the prices for both consoles. The Series S is $299.99 and the Series X is $499.99. And this is kind of weird because in terms of resolution, my Xbox One X displays better than the next generation Series S.
Right.
But to be fair, the Series S is designed to just play next-gen games with the same graphic capability, the same SSD, yada, 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 same speed. But the One X displays better. And that's fine because when the Xbox One came out, it did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the original Xbox One could only display at 900p, whereas the 360 could display at 1080p.
Right.
Which was kind of hilarious, but again, you're just playing the next-gen games. Now, the Series S, the cheaper model, is it's digital only. There is no disk drive, and it is only 512 gigabytes of SSD storage, which is not upgradable.
No.
You cannot upgrade the SSD. And
wait,
512...
one second. Sorry to interrupt. Can you not get the expandable memory that we talked about before?
They did not show that on the back. No, I did not see that.
Okay, so that's
maybe
an important detail because we'll talk about that after. But continue. Yeah, sorry, I just want to make that clarification.
Yeah, no, you're good. Again, they could be doing that, but I didn't see that. They didn't specify it, so no idea. But we did see the prices of the little SSD memory cards. Like, oh my god.
We'll talk about that after. Yeah,
we'll talk about that. But 512, like. What is it with Microsoft and Sony? Because the PS5 is coming with 825 gigabytes of SSD space, and then 512 gigabytes of SSD for Xbox.
For the Xbox S, yeah,
the Series S.
Yeah, there is a lot to break down here. There's a lot to comprehend because I understand people turning around saying, "Hey," and I understand that SSD drives are very expensive. They are.
Oh yeah.
But we're encountering an issue here, and this is, I think, going to be the problem of the next generation. If you thought space was a problem now, next generation is going to be absolutely a nightmare. the biggest issue is that games nowadays, closer to the end, especially if you look at, for example, Red Dead Redemption, even Call of Duty, they're being released on multiple discs. And the reason why is because the Blu-ray discs could only hold up to 50 gigabytes because the laser in the consoles could only read dual layers. But we're getting games that are 100 gigabytes at the end of the PlayStation 4 generation and Xbox One. And we are about to go to the next generation where those game sizes are only going to go up like significantly, a crazy amount. So if we went from, because I remember for like the PlayStation 3, what were the maximum game sizes you get on the PlayStation 3? I'm trying to remember.
Like for GTA 5, for example, that game was like 8 gigs.
8 gigs
and
on the PlayStation 3.
With the slow as molasses hard drive, I remember putting in the install disk. It took like what felt like 2 hours to install the whole thing just to play for a little bit and then be like, oh, cool, I'm done. Yeah.
That was for GTA 5, right? For the PS3.
Yeah.
Now, it was 8 gigs initially. Now, to my knowledge, that was one of the biggest games. We're getting games that are 10 times that now. 10 times that. Now, I'm not saying next generation. Now, so we are.
Last of Us 2 was 105.
We are going to be getting the games that are going to be coming next gen are going to be absolutely disgustingly massive, but the hard drives are not increasing, and this is going to be a problem for both PlayStation and Xbox because PlayStation is a quote unquote 1 terabyte, but it's not actually. It's 825. So it's even smaller than the hard drives that we have now, but it's SSD. So that's a problem. But before we get to the issue of memory, let's talk about the different angles that PlayStation is coming at in terms of their consoles and Xbox. PlayStation has the all digital edition and the regular disc drive edition, and they have the same performance. The only difference, there is no difference between them. In fact, they announced, if you look online, they announced the codes, like the box codes, the model codes for PlayStation and what contains it in the box. And they are all exactly the same. They contain the same amount of controllers, the same amount of hard drives. The components are exactly the same. The only difference is one has a disc drive and one doesn't.
That's it. And that's fine.
Right? Xbox has the Series X, which has been confirmed to be a bit more powerful than the PlayStation 5. And then the Series S, which is not as powerful as the PlayStation 5 by, I wouldn't say an overwhelmingly significant amount, but by a pretty decent margin. It's not going to be able to play 4K. I think it's 1440.
It's 1440p. But my question is, if it can play the next gen games the same as the Series X, how is it not more powerful? Like, is the SSD slower, or is it strictly just resolution?
I think it's strictly resolution, and a smaller SSD, like a much smaller SSD.
Well, is the SSD still as fast as they keep claiming it is on the Series X? That's another question, too.
I think so. I believe so. I think they did a breakdown. I believe it is. But the issue comes, it is a slower processor, but it's the same kind of processor. It's the same kind, but slower, and it doesn't have as much memory. So you are going to be able to still experience next gen, just not quite as crisp, and it might not be as great, obviously, of an experience. However, the Series S is the best budget because obviously we don't even know what the budget for the PlayStation is right now. We have no idea, but the ongoing price right now is the same price for the PlayStation 5 as the Xbox Series X. It's $499. It's ambiguous right now for the discless version. People are hoping $400. That's what people are.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's $500 for regular, $400 for discless. But you know, with the way Sony and Microsoft work, they did this. Like Sony did the same thing. No, Microsoft did it with Sony when Microsoft announced the Xbox One, and it was like, I think it was like $500, and then Sony was like, all right, PS4 is $400 or $300. Then Xbox was like, just kidding, yeah, it's $300.
Yeah, they always do that. They always attack each other. They always try to undercut each other. Now, it's possible that PlayStation could go $450, $350 because of. I think that would be something that would be incredible, and that would be a good balance. However, because here's the thing, this is the thought process, is that if, let's say, it's 500, 400, and 500, 300 for the Xbox, the sheer concept is you could pay $100 more and get true next-gen 4K, 60 frames, true performance, and double the hard drive and everything. But the S is still a really good value buy. So Microsoft is coming at this where you can either get the most powerful console on the market or you can get the cheapest. So they're hitting two ends of the spectrum, and while PlayStation fits dead set in the middle. So
Okay.
that is, which is something that is interesting. It's an interesting take. And I'm curious as to how that is going to work. And also, have you seen the size of the Series S?
Oh yeah, dude, it is tiny. It is the size of like the Super Nintendo Slim.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. It's really small. It's smaller than an Xbox One X, and smaller than a PS4 Pro.
It's smaller than
tiny.
It's smaller than a PS4 base, dude. It's the same height and width, but the length is like, or the same height and width, but the other dimension is cut right in half.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing that. I don't know how they're compacting everything in such a tiny box.
Well, here's the thing: no disk drive, right?
I guess that's a big reason. Yeah,
and it's to my knowledge, it's an SSD drive, so it's even smaller than your regular hard drive, right? So
yeah, and everything else is just soldered to the board.
Right. So there you go. So you're able to get this tiny, tiny little Xbox, and I'm watching people walk around and hold it with one hand. Right, like that's really impressive on Xbox point. That's really expensive. And
now I've heard that the Series X is massive and the PS5 is even a little bit more bigger, which kind of worries me.
Yeah, the PS5 is taller, but the Xbox is wider.
Yeah.
So these consoles are big. These are big behemoth consoles. These are really big. But PlayStation has not announced their pricing yet, and this is something that is a big problem for the consumer because we just got the prices and it's coming out in November. Yep. It's September.
Which is 2 months. 2 months.
Right? Pre-orders are open on September 22nd for Xbox, and you know what? I have to be at my game store early for that because
oh yeah, same.
To be able to even think about getting that, it's insane. It's a Tuesday, and I'm going to get up like real early and just drive to EB Games and just sit outside because I would love to be able to do. I need to have my money down for next gen console.
The thing is like, you know, I work at a game store and we never see GameStop as a threat because they could barely function themselves. But I'm gonna have to pre-order it through GameStop because one, they're the only company that lets you pay at a time, because if you pre-order on Amazon, you have to pay the entire thing right then and there. Mm-hmm. With Best Buy, I don't remember how they do it, but I know GameStop usually has like, oh, trade in a current gen system towards the next gen, get X amount off. Right. So I have an Xbox One X that I never touch. That's just waiting to get brought in and trade towards the PS5.
Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be absolutely crazy because the thing is that there's going to be very limited stock probably due to COVID and everything. It's going to be a real pain. And to everybody who is going to be trying to get a console, I wish you all the best of luck. May the odds be ever in your favor, because if you thought the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One availability was hard, trust me, it's going to be even harder now. I think we're going to be degrading to Wii levels of availability. Remember that when the Wii came out and it was like...
I remember that in the PS3. Because the PS3 is being sold for a little over $1,000. Yeah, I'm sorry, like $1,300 when it came out.
Yeah, I remember the PS3s were ridiculous. The Wiis were ridiculous. It was absolutely insane and sad. Really, it's going to be really hard because I don't know how we're going to be able to get this. So I'm going to be trying to get my hands grasped on the Xbox. Actually, just quickly look up here. I wonder how much it is in Canadian. I wonder how much an Xbox Series X in Canadian is. I am
$4.99 USD. I'm betting without you looking it up or without you telling me yet, I'm betting somewhere around $5.99.
Bingo, right on ahead, $5.99.
Hey, $5.99. Okay, so 600 Canadian dollars.
Yep.
For the good God, that's what the PS3 launched in America as.
Yeah, and the Series S is launching at $379. So,
wow,
$80 more. So honestly, though, that isn't terrible because $4.99 American translate. Hold on, let's see, USD to CAD, and then we'll wrap up. Is $6.57 in Canadian, so we're actually getting like $50 off. Like
wow.
So like if we were to buy, it's $4.99 US, translates to $6.57 Canadian, and it's so we're getting like $57 off. So it's actually cheaper to buy it in Canada.
Wow.
So
yeah, you mind buying me a copy? I'm sending it. It's fine because the $30 you have to pay to send it to me will even out.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time that we have for today. I know this was an extra long one, but thank you so much for listening, and we really appreciate it, especially if you made it this far.
Yes, hello. Love you.
Yeah, thank you. Next gen is right around the corner. I do want to make a quick, small announcement. Which is I'm springing onto Shemp right now. We might be taking a small break in October because I am going to be going up north for 2 weeks. So we're probably about midway through October. I'll be back around Halloween. If Shemp wants to maybe do WumpaTime on his own, he can, or if he wants to wait for his co-host, that's okay as well. Either way, it's up to him. Just follow us on Twitter for updates when that time happens. Follow me on Canadian Guy A with the extra H. We're still trying to find and defeat the imposter. And go follow Shemp at Shemp Official over on Twitter. Wrong TW. Make sure to also subscribe to Shemp as well. He does a lot of awesome content. His channel is starting to grow. I'm starting to see his video views average really start to increase, and it makes me proud. I'm very happy. He creates great content, great ideas. And make sure to go subscribe to him. Show some CGE love. He's part of the CGE family. So he's basically he's the assistant editor. So yeah, he's already part of the family. So make sure to give him extra love on his next upload, whenever that is.
And if you guys want, I was recently interviewed by my friend on his channel for his new internet talk show where he talks to just internet personalities. I think it's called Art on the Web. I think. Just Art on the Web. His channel is Pow Speed Art, and the first episode is about 40 minutes of him interviewing me about like my origins on YouTube and how I think about YouTube becoming the next mainstream and internet personalities in general. It's really fun. It's a really fun show. You can just listen to it. You don't even have to watch it.
It's like a podcast. Like this one.
Oh! Show him some love. Tell him WumpaTime sent you. He'd very much appreciate it. He very much deserves all the views that he can get. Let's see. Currently sitting at 31. Let's get it to maybe 100.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And with that said, I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.